pot-au-feu. The pot never boils twice. A 10-chapter Umami story. Chapter 1. Out. The gate of Mason Central de Melon didn't squeak. It screamed. Jean Dubois, 62, stepped through, and the sound followed him down the road like a stray dog. 18 years inside for what happened to Louise. The papers never said the details. The village remembered enough not to visit. He walked 40 kilometers. His prison boots split at kilometer 22. He kept walking. Blood and mud made a paste between his toes. The farm was still standing, which was worse than if it had burned. The roof sagged like a broken jaw. The windows were black teeth. Mama's herb garden was a knot of thistle, and something that smelled like wet pennies. Inside, the air hadn't moved since 2008. On the table, a plate, a spoon, a ring of dust where Mama's pot-au-feu used to sit. He touched the ring. His finger came away greasy. That night, he ate moldy bread from his pocket and dreamed of marrow. Not his bones, the kind you spread on toast. He woke drooling. Chapter 2. Fleur. He found her on night 3, curled in the turnip cellar like a question mark. Bare feet, blue from cold. She couldn't have been more than 9. Her eyes were too big, and they didn't blink when he lifted the hoe. "Touch my stuff. I'll put you in the ground," he said. His voice was rust. "Fleur," she whispered. "That's me. I'm not stuff." She smelled like rain and hunger. He should have dragged her to the road. Instead, he broke his bread. Not in half, in thirds, kept the bigger third. They ate. The cellar dripped. Drip, drip, drip. It sounded like a clock counting down. She stayed. He told himself it was because she was useful. She wasn't. Chapter 3. Seeds and skinny calf. Jean traded his busted boots to a man at the crossroads for seeds. The man didn't ask why his hands shook. Carrots, leeks, turnips, cabbage time. Mama's list. Fleur came back that afternoon, towing a calf with rope. It was all knees and ribs. Someone had tied a note to its horn. "Take or it dies. Your choice." The ink had run in the rain. She named it Soup. Jean almost hit her. Mornings became a ritual. He hoed. She carried water from the pump that coughed up rust for the first minute. Soup licked salt off Fleur's palms. Nights bread, water talk. Pot-au-feu takes 24 hours for the broth, Jean said, staring at the wall. Then you add veg. 6 more. Meat has to fall apart if you look at it wrong. Did Mama sing when she made it? Fleur asked. She hummed. Like this. He did it. It sounded like wind in a chimney. They didn't touch, but when she shivered, his blanket ended up on her side. Neither mentioned it. Chapter 4. Green shoots. The seeds took. That was the first miracle. Little green soldiers in straight lines. Fleur walked the rows and named them. This is Monsieur Carrot. He's brave. She sang lullabies. cracked. The plants didn't care. Soup's hip bones got less sharp. Jean built a new hoe handle from an old chair leg. He used Mama's knife. It still had a flake of onion skin on it from 18 years ago. He drew in the dirt after supper. Market patch, eating patch, Mama's patch. First coins we get, we buy a shank, he told Fleur. With the bone in, the marrow's got a jiggle. Fleur stole a salt lick from the Delorme place, came back with a limp and a smile. Jean cleaned the cut on her foot with water and didn't ask. He gave her his pillow that night. It smelled like him, like sour and old. She used it anyway. Chapter 5, Poison. He smelled it before he saw it. Opened the door at dawn, and the air was sweet and wrong, like fruit left in a hot car. The field was black, not burned, wet, oily. The plants had collapsed into themselves. When he touched a leak, it came apart on his fingers, cold as a drowned thing. He dug. The soil underneath was gray. It moved. Not worms. Something else. He stopped digging. He replanted. It died by noon. He salted the earth to kill whatever it was. It killed more. He got on his knees and begged the dirt. The dirt didn't answer. Soup wouldn't step in the field. The calf stood at the edge and shook. Jean quit talking, quit eating. He sat on the porch and watched the scarecrow rot. Fleur put bread by his hand. He watched ants take it. You can't die, Fleur told him on night 9. Not before the shank. He didn't look at her. Chapter 6, Full Moon Deal. The moon was a white plate in the sky. No clouds. The dead field looked like spilled ink. Fleur went out at midnight. She didn't take a lantern. The voice didn't come from anywhere. It came from everywhere. It was the sound the well made when you dropped a stone and waited. Hungry, it asked. I can fix hungry. Can you fix him? Fleur said. He's sad. He needs the stew. Pot-au-feu requires payment. Flesh feeds flesh. Life for life. Fair. What do I give? Parts. Pieces. The calf too. Hair for starters. The rest as needed. Fleur looked at the house. Jean's silhouette in the window, not moving. Will he smile? For one meal only. Then truth. She spat in her palm. The well spat back. Deal. Chapter 7, Fertilizer. She started with her hair. Used Mama's knife. It took a long time. She fed the braids to Soup. The calf ate, then slept. Woke up with meat on its bones. Next day, leaks where she buried her hair, thick as her forearm. She took her left pinky at the first joint, did it on a rock with the hoe, wrapped the stump in her dress, buried the pinky by the carrots. By sunset, carrots shouldered out of the dirt, orange and fat. Toe for the cabbage. It came off easier. She was learning. The cabbage heads grew big as church bells. Her ear she did in front of the mirror. Wanted to see. She pressed the ear into the ground by the turnips. The soil sighed. Jean didn't notice. He was watching the wall. The wall had a stain that looked like Louise. Almost, Monsieur Jean, Fleur whispered, tucking the blanket around him. Heaven's almost done. Soup was huge now, eyes wet. It followed Fleur everywhere and licked the bandages. Chapter 8. The 24-hour broth. Jean woke, choking on the smell. Meat, onion, thyme, real. The kitchen was a crime scene of abundance. Cabbage heads stacked like skulls, carrots in piles, and on the block, a beef shank. Perfect, marrow in the center, like a pale eye. He didn't ask where. Asking was for priests. He moved like he was 20. Filled Mama's dented pot with cold water. The pot had a dent in the shape of her hip. He'd forgotten. Meat in, onion with cloves, bouquet garni from twine and thyme. Salt, fire lit. He skimmed for 24 hours. Didn't sleep, didn't blink much. The scum that rose was gray, then white, then none. At hour 24, he added leeks, carrots, turnips. At hour 28, potatoes. At hour 29, cabbage. The broth went amber, then gold, then the color of Mama's hair. At hour 30, he tasted. He made a noise he hadn't made since he was 7. It wasn't a word. Fleur, he shouted. His voice tore. Girl, it's done. Heaven's done. The house was quiet. Soup was gone. Chapter 9. The room. Her door was closed. It never was. He knocked. Knuckles left dents. Fleur, don't be stupid. Food's hot. No answer. He opened it. The smell hit first. Not rot. Cooking. Like pork. Like dinner. Then the other smell. Ironed. Outhouse. Endings. She was on the bed. Most of her, the parts that weren't her, were in piles. Surgical, almost. The parts that were missing were in his pot. He knew because the stew had been too perfect. Her good eye was open. It had a bit of sky in it. The other socket was empty. He'd seasoned that one with bay leaf. On the wall, written in something dark and drying, he smiled. Fair. Jean stood there long enough for the broth to cool a degree. Then he remembered. Not Fleur. Louise. 1978. Famine winter. Mama dead 3 days. The cellar empty. Louise crying. He'd made a deal then too. Different well. Same voice. He'd buried Louise in the field. Bit by bit, the farm bloomed. He'd made pot-au-feu. He'd told the gendarmes he found her that way. He looked at Fleur, said, I'm sorry, little one. I forgot I'm the monster. Chapter 10. Twice. He set the table. 2 bowls. 2 spoons. Mama's ladle. He served himself. The broth steamed. A piece of carrot, shaped like a finger bone, surfaced. He ate it. Then another. And another. It tasted like Mama, like Louise, like Fleur, like all the girls he fed to the dirt to feed himself. When the bowl was empty, he washed it, dried it, put it back in the cupboard. He washed the pot. The dent still fit his hand. He walked to the field. It was black again. It was always black after. Soup was there. Not a calf anymore. Something else. It watched him with Fleur's good eye. Jean walked 40 kilometers to Melon. Didn't stop. Didn't eat. Didn't drink. The gate guard was new. Help you. Jean Dubois, Jean said. Number 8472. I left. I'm back. Put me where the walls are thick. Why? Jean smiled. It felt like his face would crack. The pot never boils twice. But I did. They took him. He asked for bread and water only. On full moons, the guards swear they hear him humming through the bars. Off key, like a lullaby, like wind in a chimney.